And say, neighbor, oh neighbor, I don't know about you, but after everything I've been through, I can truly say that I thank God they let me down. Look at somebody on the other side and say, thank God they let me down. What God is doing is he's simply answering your prayer. Come on, say amen to me. Because before any major car, whether it be a Pinto, whether it be a Mercedes, a Honda Civic, whether it be a Toyota Tundra or whatever, a Bentley, a Maybach, or whatever it is that they have, before it can be put on the display line, it first has to be tested. Come on, say that to me. They have to make sure that it runs up to what its value says it's worth. Say that to me. And the truth of the matter is, some of you are going through what you're going through, and you've been tested with what you've been tested with simply because God is trying to stamp you for approval to see if you're really worth. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. What you trying to preach? Oh, y'all ain't gonna help me. What you trying to portray to people that you are. Come on, say that to me. Because I found out something about church folk. Church folk have a tendency to exaggerate who they are. You know who they are. They come to church and act like they super saved. Everybody going to hell but them. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. They look at us preachers. You got people who are looking. You got people in here tonight who are looking up here at this pulpit and think they have the audacity. They have the audacity to think that they can point fingers at anybody and say, y'all ain't gonna help me in here, and say something like somebody done something, or look at them thinking they all that, but you really don't know. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. You don't know the hell I had to go through trying to bring you out of what you in. I know I'm not worth all what I do. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. The truth of the matter is, I tried to stop preaching, but the Holy Ghost told me that he was gonna use me, because some of y'all think you higher than what you are. So somebody has to be broken enough to say, God, whatever you got to do, if you got to embarrass me, I can take it. If you got to let them lie on me, I can take it. If you got to let them say I'm handicapped, I can take it. Whatever that needs to happen in my life, so somebody can see that there is a God that gets all the glory. I'm willing to do what I need to do. You ought to shake somebody's hand and say, I thank God they let me down. Yeah, sometimes as anointed as we are, come on, say man to me, as anointed as we are, we have so many secret struggles, trying to live holy, but get attacked with unholy thoughts. Y'all gonna hit me here. Trying to live saved, but want to hang out amongst the unsaved, because church folk don't know how to treat us. Y'all ain't sitting up in here. Sometimes, truth be told, sometimes you feel handicapped. The Bible talks about this man sick with palsy. Now you got to understand what palsy is. Palsy is more than just the shakes. But palsy is when you want to move your limbs, but your limbs are telling your mind what to do. Y'all ain't sitting up in here. You got to, why can I help somebody in here? You got to watch out for these palsy churches. What are you talking about, palsy churches? I'm talking about churches where the board tells the pastor what to do. Your limbs ain't got no business telling your brain how to operate. Y'all know him in here. You better watch out for these palsy ministries. You got to do what they do because they ain't paying tithe. The devil is a liar. You want to look at somebody and say, neighbor, this year God is going to cause these limbs to stretch. Y'all ain't going to help me in here. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to be more mobile than I've ever been. I'm getting ready to be stronger than I've ever been. I'm going to run through a troop. I'm going to leap over a wall. And whoever don't like it, got to get the hell out of my face. You want to lift your hands and say, thank you, Jesus. And they let me down. Thank you, Jesus. And they walked away. Thank you, Jesus. And they called me crazy. Thank you, Jesus. They said I wasn't anointed. Thank you. Lord, don't help me in here. I feel another wave in here. I said, I feel another wave in here. Church folk. You got to watch out for church folk. They ain't gonna make it if I ain't there. The devil is a liar. I was making it before you got there. I was preaching before you validated me. My God. But even in your handicapped state, I feel like preaching tonight. Even in your handicapped state, God always knows how to house you. When you're talking about house you, if you look over everything you've been through in your life, even in the situations when you felt alone, if you really search the history of where you've been, God has always had 4 people around you that kept you balanced. Y'all don't help me in here. The Bible talks about these 4 individuals that had so much faith, and even when the man didn't believe anything could happen, they believed for him. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. That's when you get around people who won't let you be mediocre. I thank God for friends who come around me and tell me, Walker, you too good to be complacent. You too good to fall in this trap. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. Because the truth of the matter is, can I let y'all in on a little secret? Can I let you in on a secret? Somebody say, tell me, Walker. Can I tell you what prophets struggle with the most? They struggle in their mind. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. Why in their mind? Because this is where confidence rests. Confidence rests in your mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. So if he can get a prophet to be unconfident, y'all ain't saying nothing in here. He has bottled up the gift. Oh my God. If you notice any prophet that's a real prophet, there's an air when they know they hear from God. It's almost like a regal arrogance. Why? Because when you know his voice, you can't miss. And the devil knows that. So when a prophet goes back to his hotel room, the one thing he struggles with is, Lord, I'm not good enough. Lord, I got this struggle. Lord, I'm struggling with this. Lord, I'm battling with this. Out of all the people you could have used, why you use me? Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. And you know what that does? Can I tell you what it does? It makes them handicapped. Y'all gonna help me in here. If you notice, I feel like helping somebody in here. And if you notice, watch this. The person who was supposed to be mobile is no longer mobile. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. Now watch this. At the end of the text, Jesus tells him to go home and take the bed with him. What does that mean? He was a messenger. Could I suggest to you that this is a parable? Not only is it a story, but it's a parable of what's going on in the fivefold ministry right now. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. You thinking it's prophecy? These prophets are handicapped. Y'all don't help me in here. These prophets are handicapped. But you know how we gonna get them out? There's one laying on the bed, but there's 4 surrounding him. You know who gonna help the prophet out? The evangelist, the pastor, the teacher, and the apostle. Y'all gonna help me in here. It took the church to drop him down. So, oh my God. And after they dropped him down, God restored him back to his place. Because immediately he began to talk again. Y'all gonna help me in here. You ought to high five somebody and say it's a good thing that last prophet there can no longer be ordinary church. I'm going to say it again. There can no longer be ordinary church. Because as many people that was there, it was 5 people that got the attention of God. In other words, anything that's not fivefold ministry in this season will not get God's attention. God says, I'm tired of the division. Y'all don't help me in here. You can embrace teaching. You can embrace pastoring. You can embrace evangelism. bishop. You can embrace the bishopry. But you got churches who think that prophecy don't exist no more. Y'all ain't said nothing in here. Because I got to use somebody. I got to resurrect my voice. Y'all ain't said nothing in here. You can strip that. Let me tell you something. If you take a teacher's books, they can't teach no more. If you tell an evangelist he can't come, he ain't an evangelist no more. Y'all said if you tell a pastor to shut down his church, he ain't a pastor no more. You take a bishop's amethyst, strip him of his pectoral cross, take his credentials, he ain't a bishop no more. But what can you do to a prophet? A prophet gonna be a prophet whether you like it or not. You cannot do nothing to a prophet. Y'all ain't said nothing here. If you look at the church, pay attention. Look at the church. What is the biggest office that's attacked right now? The gift of the prophetic. Y'all ain't said nothing in here. They didn't made it about houses and cars. Y'all ain't said nothing in here. Do you know what the prophets used to do in the Bible? They weren't that happy when Samuel showed up. They said, Samuel, first of all, do you come in peace? Y'all ain't said nothing in here. Because when a real prophet step on the scene, y'all ain't said nothing in here. He had two things. He had two things. He had a sword and a bottle of oil. Meaning either A, you were going to get promoted, or B, what's one of the things prophets do? They demonstrate.
Yes.
How can you demonstrate if you bound to your own bed of affliction?
Come on up in here. My God.
How?
You are preaching.
Pausing makes your hand curl up.
Yes. Come on.
If the prophet is the extended finger that points direction, how can you give people direction when your hand is withered?
My God.
But when I tell you God gonna restore, y'all ain't gonna hit me in here. But the church got to press. We're gonna have to pray for them. Y'all ain't gonna hit me in here. We got to stop having itching ears. Y'all ain't gonna hit me in here. We got to stop having itching ears. When was the last time you prophesied to a prophet? Y'all ain't gonna help me here. The first thing God told me, he says, if you're not willing to press for what you need, then you don't want what you think you want. Y'all ain't saying anything in here. People coming in here talking about give me. I want to be delivered. Lord, bring me out. Lord, change this. Lord, change that. And then you take your big head home and do the same thing you did before you prayed. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. Philippians 3, it talks about Philippians 3, verse 13 and 14. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. Philippians chapter 4, starting in verse 4. It says, rejoice in the Lord always. And again I say rejoice. Let your moderation be made known to all men. You know what moderation means? Your unselfishness. In other words, sometimes you need to sacrifice your lifestyle, not for you, but so somebody can see the witness in you. Y'all ain't saying nothing here. Some people don't want to sacrifice a lifestyle and they try to justify for why. Y'all are preaching to me too. I'm preaching to me too. I'm sick of wondering what if. There's too many doors I got to preach in. There's too many people that's attached to my ministry. And I can't afford to let nothing handicap me. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Look at somebody next to you and say, you can't be handicapped no more. You got to rise and walk today. Say, you got to rise and walk today. And say, just in case, tell them, just in case your faith ain't gonna get the job done, me and 3 other people gonna drop you tonight. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. I'm gonna drop you tonight. Sometimes you got to drop somebody. Sometimes you got to tell them, I love you, but you need to do better doing this. That's why I love my brother. Every time I make a mistake, I got people who pat me on the back and say, it's all right, you human. It's not a testimony until you can carry what you were with without shame. In other words, until you're able to tell somebody about your struggle without them worrying or without worrying how they change perception of you. You ain't really delivered. Can I get a witness in here? Until you tell somebody about your abuse that you had when you were growing up, it's still a scar on your heart. Y'all ain't saying that in here. Every chance I get, I have to tell my testimony. I got to let you know why. Because we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. Shake your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, whatever you do, don't lose your testimony. It's going to save your life. Can I get a witness here? Shake your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, oh neighbor, tonight I'm going to tell you everything he brought me out of. It's going to help you in the long run. Say it. I'm curious in here. Is there anybody here that can lift their hand and say, don't let the suit fool you? I remember when I used to wear a mini skirt. Don't let the suit fool you. I remember when I had holes in my arm because I was shooting up dope. Don't let the suit fool you. I remember when I was so drunk that I couldn't even walk straight. Don't let it fool you. I remember when I couldn't pray for myself. I remember when I couldn't fast for myself. I remember when I didn't go to church on Sunday. I remember when I didn't believe in God. I remember when I didn't want to listen to nobody. But look at me now. My soul looks back and wonders. I made it over. I was sinking deep in the sin. Far from a peaceful shore. In the same within. To rise no more. But the master of the sea. He heard my cry. And I questioned God. Won't God hear you? Won't he hear you? Won't God hear you? Won't he save you? Won't he pick you up? Turn you around? Won't he do it all? He'll take your pain and give you gain. He'll take your cross and give you a crown. He'll take your mess and give you a message. He'll take your test and make it a testimony. He'll take your death and give you life. Say I'm sorry, Lord. Is there anybody that's feel the way I feel? I'm sorry, Lord. Is there anybody in here tonight? Won't God lift you up? I'm sorry, Lord. But won't God turn you around? I'm sorry, Lord. But won't God change your life? Say it. Jesus looked down, and the Bible says, when he saw their faith, not the man, but when he saw their faith, he said, rise up. He said, the sins are forgiven you. I came to let somebody know. Stop asking for something new until you get rid of the old. Don't say nothing here. I know you want a business, but get delivered. I know you want money, but get delivered first. I know you want to get married, but get delivered first. Can you say that? Shake somebody Say, neighbor, I'm getting delivered. Because if I get Jesus, y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Say, if I get Jesus, I mean, that's it, leave it there. If I get Jesus, if I get Jesus, you got church folk running after a car. You got church folk running after a house. You got church folk running after money. You got church folk running after anointing. But what you need to do is get Jesus. Because if you get Jesus, come here, man. The man will come to you. Come here, car. The car will come to you. Y'all say, come here, house. The house will come to you. Come here, job. The job will come to you. Come here, money. The money will come to you. Y'all ain't saying nothing here. Come here, love. Love will come to you. Come here, peace. Peace will come to you. You chasing after it. I want you to come in close. Before you know it, you'll be surrounded by everything that you need. Take your house, take your car, but if everything loses, I still got Jesus. Is there anybody here that said I lost some stuff, but I kept Jesus? It was Jesus that kept my mind. It was Jesus that kept my heart. I'm closing, y'all, but before I go, you want to tell your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I don't know about you, but I thank God that He let me down. Thank you, mama, for walking away. Thank you, daddy, for not praising me. Thank you, cousins, for saying I wouldn't be nothing. Thank you, supervisor, for laying me off. Thank you, church, for kicking me out. Because now I'm in a position where I can carry the faith that was carrying me before I was handicapped. But now I'm able to show somebody I used to be alive, but I ain't alive no more. Used to be a whore, but I ain't a whore no more. Used to be broke, but I ain't broke no more. Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. And you know what I like about it? You can drop it on the ground. Because when you deliver, you hold on to it. Because you don't want nobody else to go through what you just came out of. Hold on to it. Testify. Let them know. If He did it for me, He can do it for you. If He brought me out, He can do it for you. Is there anybody in here today? Are you ready to tell somebody? Look at the Lord. Look what He's done. Look at 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 what He's done. And if you set it all right, it'll be beautiful. Look how beautiful it is. I can shout around it. I can dance around it. I can praise around it. They almost killed me. But if it wasn't for the mess, it wouldn't have grew. Thank God for the mess. Because the mess was fertilizer for my tree. And you should be like a tree planted by the rivers of living water. stuck where I am.